Hi, I'm Crystal Land, Assistant Head and Academic Dean, and this is Christine Carter, our guest speaker for this evening on Shaping Success, Why Kindness Matters. And I was wondering if you would start by talking a little bit about why focusing on happiness is important.
Well, I'm going to talk a lot about that tonight. But happiness is really important for a lot of reasons, but the reason that I'm most interested in right now is because of the way that it directs blood flow in our brains. So when we think about happiness and its relationship to success, we need to think about the fact that when we're feeling happy, when we're having positive emotions, maybe we're feeling grateful or optimistic or a sense of awe, the blood goes to the part of our brain that we need to learn, to be creative, to solve problems, to be verbally fluent. So it helps us when we aren't happy. We oftentimes will end up in a state of fight or flight, and that prepares us to run away from the situation we're in. It does not enable us to learn easily. It doesn't enable us to remember what happened later very well. So happiness is important in and of itself, just because I believe it's actually brings meaning and fulfillment to life. But when we're thinking about students, it's important because of how it directs our physiology and our brain activity.
And so students aren't always able to self-regulate.
Right.
Children aren't always able to self-regulate. So how can parents and teachers help support students in developing habits that lead to this great blood flow and self-regulation and ultimately happiness?
Well, thinking about teaching skills that lead to happiness, we're really good as a culture at teaching our kids lots of skills that are going to lead to achievement and sort of traditional notions of success. But taking a step back and thinking about, what are the skills that I need to practice with my kids so that they can be happier, so that they can experience lots of different types of positive emotions. So practicing gratitude with them, practicing fostering optimism or confidence or inspiration is a really important positive emotion, right? And it doesn't necessarily come to kids naturally. They don't necessarily know how to tap into sources of inspiration. But it's not that hard, right? They just need to be taught, and we need to practice it. Some of those skills are not directly related to positive emotions. It could be, the skill could be learning to unplug during meals, learning to tolerate boredom, learning to tolerate being alone, learning to tolerate awkwardness when you enter a social situation and you don't necessarily know somebody, not turning right to your device so learning how to really feel what it is you feel. These are really important skills for leading happy lives.
And then what about that also important skill of developing resilience? So, we're in a high pressure academic school where the stakes are high and students really want to achieve. And not everyone always gets what they want in terms of the grade or the teacher or the college. How can we go about promoting resiliency as well, which I assume will then connect to better happiness and self-fulfillment?
Absolutely. So learning how to stay in a state of ease rather than fight or flight is one of those really important skills. So learning to tolerate disappointment, all those things that you just listed. We try to shield our kids from feeling the pain of adversity or making a mistake or even having a failure or even just difficulty or disappointment, right? So as parents, we feel like that's our job. We don't want our kids, we want to fix it when they feel that way. But actually, we really need our kids to have those experiences so that they can learn how to cope with difficulty and adversity. Life is really hard. It doesn't matter what kind of background that you come from. There is no way to prevent difficulty in life. In fact, if you're going to fulfill your potential, you need a fair amount of difficulty and challenge, right? In order to reach the heights that you're capable of. Nobody got good at something by not doing something difficult. And so we need to see all the sort of disappointments of the modern competitive high school experience or even middle school experience as being training for, that will ultimately allow our kids to fulfill their potential.
So practicing disappointment is a good thing.
Yeah, it really just letting them deal with it, right? Letting them learn that they have the tools within themselves to actually rise to the occasion, right? That they don't need their parents to swoop in and fix it, that it might really hurt.
So what's the one tip or message you really want to leave our families with?
That happiness is the most important thing for success, and that the way to be happy ultimately is to pay attention to your social connections. So that, happiness is just the cart, the horse is social connections and love, essentially.